Lesson 8. In this lesson, we're going to cover 4 techniques, which is linked entirely to lesson number 3, disrupting the standing passer's game. In lesson 3, we covered some ways to get our opponent to collapse down to the ground, but our opponent will not always collapse down to the ground, so we need these moves to be able to complete those positions. So the first one I showed was the wax-on grip break, and my opponent breaks down. Now when he pins the arm, I have some additional details I'd like to add at this point. I'm going to grab this sleeve and pull it a little bit, and I'm going to pull my arm this way because I don't want him to transfer the grip as he starts to stand here. You notice like once guys stand, they'll work to transfer the grip. Some guys will. So keep this in and preventing him from getting that, and keep this around. Now he goes to stand, and I circle. Right as he starts to get that second one up, I circle, just as covered in lesson 3. Now from this point, if he doesn't collapse, I'm going to immediately move to the double ankle sweep. And there's a number of things that need to happen at the same time. I'm going to put my knees right on his chest. I'm going to grab behind his ankles, and then I'm going to explode upward, knocking him over. A common mistake from the sweep is people grab too high. So grab right behind the ankles. So all at the same time, right here, and I explode upwards. And notice how I sucked these in a little bit, because there's a perfect range. Go ahead and stand back up. There's a perfect range, stand all the way up, for the double ankle sweep. Here is perfect. His legs are a little bit shoulder length apart. There's a margin of error that you can do it. He stands a little bit wider. I can still do it, but if he stands too wide, I can't do it. All right? So it's important to know that if it's too wide, you need to transfer to something else. Also, if he's hipping in too aggressively, go ahead and stand all the way up like you're enjoying the air and he's hipping in. You can't do the double ankle sweep from here, because if I do, he's just going to throw his hips forward and take me over to the turtle position. So, 2 situations which you don't do the double ankle sweep: too wide and too hipped in. So once I've knocked him over, at this point, I need to work to get on top. So we're going to come over here so you can get a good angle on it. From this point, I need to get my butt over his leg. And if I don't, it's really going to minimize my chances of coming on top. Grab behind his neck here, and using the momentum from the original sweep, which I don't have now, you're going to throw yourself over this leg right here. The double ankle sweep is fundamentally a more difficult sweep than some others to come on top, so you really need to use that momentum to throw over. Now, once you're getting this position here, you're going to gate or windshield wiper your leg into the mount. Now, here's some variables from the double ankle sweep, because you're going to see the double ankle sweep a lot from my open guard positions in later lessons. When I knock him over, okay, let's get in the knocked over position here. When I knock him over, a lot of the time your opponent will look to immediately drive right back into you. Post this on the ground and just look to get back up. Now we're going to use this position to do a triangle. And if you can stand up in base, you can do a triangle. So to review standing up in base from this position, I'm going to use my arm here and my leg that you can't see behind him here as base. Notice how this one, no weight supporting. And I'm going to bring it back and stand up in base. The difference is from standing up in base and doing the triangle is that when I go to that point of no return where I'm kind of balancing on my leg back here and this arm, I'm going to shoot it over his shoulder, and I'm going to really spin in. You'll notice that I rotate quite a bit when I do this triangle. It's all centered around just standing up in base. Now, the second thing that he may choose to do from the double ankle sweep as you're trying to come on top is he posts his arm back a little bit further, which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to do a triangle. Because even if you do a triangle, it's a little bit looser. There's more space right here, and he might escape that. So he stiff arms me here. All I'm going to do is lace his arm and shoot my far leg over his chest and into a belly down armbar position. Now from this position, I just apply my weight and get the tap. This is a really powerful armbar that can break people's arms. So really be careful if you're trying this on an opponent, about dropping your weight on that arm because it is a lot of pressure on the arm. So that's your introduction to the double ankle sweep from when you strip the guy's grip and attempt to come on top. First, always try and come on top. I can't stress that enough because when you really commit to trying to come on top, he's going to make silly mistakes. So first, always try and come on top even though you have these two cool moves to add to it. Now, the second situation in lesson 3 was when, however he ends up doing it, he stands and he does a wide base, which is too wide to do a double ankle sweep. Go ahead and do that, please. What I'm gonna need to do is switch to something else. I cross grip here, just as I covered in lesson 3, and I underhook and my head comes towards his leg here. I transfer the grip, and in lesson 3, I did it, but I didn't really stress it. Grab the collar here. Now, in lesson 3, we covered our opponent just falling down to the ground because he was worried about some of the things that I can do to him from here. But in this situation, my opponent's going to stay standing. Now he's most likely going to be trying and posturing, so I'm going to let him carry a little bit of my weight with my collar grip. Go ahead, posture up right here. So I let him carry a little bit of weight. If I don't, I just pull him down anyway. So I'm going to go for the Omaplata because I built myself a nice safe wall to go for the Omaplata. And also, I already have built in my Omaplata sweep by underhooking his leg. So I pull down. Now, depending on where his arm is, if it's like here, where I can't swing it around like this, he's kind of making a wall right here, I'm just gonna pull out and then swing around. Now, from this position, I triangle my legs and I log roll. I call this a log roll because you're just rolling like a log. And I come on top here. You swing your leg over, you kick it like a mule, and come on top. And then work the top position. So I named this because I watched my 5-year-old nephew do these tumbling classes and they have him log roll the mats. It's just this position. You might try and finish the Omaplata from that position by working to sit up or doing something, but just underhook and log roll and then kick that leg over. One more time. Let's go back a little bit this way. So he stands in a wide base. Cross grip, underhook, head to this side, feed here. This is going to be difficult, feeding here, but work to feed it in. Grab here. Now, if he's grabbing on the inside or whatever, he's grabbing my leg or whatever, you can kick your leg out this way. So depending on the situation, you might need to bring it inside and around, or just swing it around. Triangle, and immediately log roll. Kicking and coming on top. Working the top position.